Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Target exclusive Marvel Legends series Guardians of the Galaxy Yondu comic version. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have on the top Marvel Legends Series 4 and up assortment number Guardians of the Galaxy. Then on the front, Yondu, and a nice digital render of the figure with some comic art in the background. Guardians of the Galaxy. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Plastic-free packaging, except tape and glue. Hasbro print on the bottom, includes figure and 3 accessories, and, just in case you forgot from a second ago, plastic-free packaging, except tape and glue. And then that thing. On this side, Marvel Legends series, and a nice digital render of Yondu as he appears in the comics. And then on this side, nice comic art of Yondu as he appears in the comics. And then Marvel Legends series at the bottom. On the back, in the background, there's some comic panels going on. Yondu, Marvel Legends series. He also comes with an arrow because he has a bow. And then nice digital render of the figure. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Attention, especially don't stick it in your French pie hole. Recycled stuff, Marvel print, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, Hasbro print, and a barcode. And that, my friends, completes our look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers. So we can look at these accessories first. And first up, he comes with an arrow. And I think we've seen this before with a Hawkeye somewhere along the way. Possibly even an MCU one. I just honestly do not remember. It's all one color, molded in that color plastic, it appears. Next up, we have his bow. It's got some nice gold paint on it. Looks like it's probably made in this translucent-y plastic, and then the gold was painted on it because it doesn't look like the gold plastic with all the twirls and swirls and all that good stuff. But I do think that looks neat. And I do believe we've seen this before, but the string part might be new. But I'm not going to swear to that either. And of course, here is his quiver, and this is definitely an MCU Hawkeye quiver. And it does look like it is molded in this gold plastic. And then this, I think, is an insert with this around the rim as well. And it's molded in that in color as well, with no paint. And then the last piece is his fin. And it's pretty rigid, so no chance of it really bending up. And they didn't take any chances because they didn't even put it on the figure before they packed him. And as you can see right here, there's a slot on the top of his head where it goes. And I will put that on there. And we're all finished with that. And it does fit on there pretty good. And I think I put it on the right way. Because I think the way it's designed, it only goes one way. I just didn't want to show the figure off without his signature part, I suppose. And it's all molded in that red plastic. I will say he does have some nice paint details for the face. And then he's got the Guardian's badge, I guess. And this nice gold stripe for paint. And I think that's actually supposed to be part of this strap, so that's why it stops right there. And I'm not sure, but I think maybe this red might all be paint. If it's not, all the blue is. Then this piece, again, that's a separate piece, and it's molded in that gold plastic. This armband and bracer, again, looks like they're molded in the gold plastic, as well as the belt. Legs molded in color, boots molded in color, crotch molded in color. Probably this ab piece right here molded in color. And then right down this piece where the ab crunch is looks like it might be paint. Then we have some gold paint down the side of the arm, some stripes painted on there. And that's pretty much it for a look at the figure and his deco and stuff. Now, as far as his articulation goes, the fin does kind of stop him right here from looking up any further than that, but I don't think the mold allows for much more than that anyway. So he looks up that high, he can look down that far, and I do believe this is the Bucky cap mold, but I could be mistaken. And it's on that ball and hinge, so he's got very slight chicken neck. He's got some waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, he's got some butterfly. Back that far, wow. Forward that far, that's pretty good too. 360 degree rotation there, as well as he can raise his arm up not quite 90 degrees. Cut at the upper bicep for another 360 degree rotation. Double hinge pinned elbow gives you that much bend. 360 degree rotation at the wrist on in and out hinge, and in and out hinge on the other hand as well. And as I said before, he has that classic kind of hinge joint that Hasbro Marvel Legends have had for many years. Anyway, it allows for him to lean back that far. He can lean forward that far. And there is no hula, no ball joint at the waist either. It's just a straight cut. Gives you full 360 degrees of rotation. The belt does lift up to get out of the way when you do that, so that's good that you don't really have to think about moving it out of the way. You just have to think about moving it back. He can give you that much of the splits, and I will say this is some of this plastic on him is very flimsy. It's soft. He can kick forward that far, especially in the legs and the arms. Back 3/4 of a step maybe. Cut at the upper thigh for a 360 degree rotation. Double hinged pinned knee gives you that much bend. Then there is a cut here at the top of the boot, mid shin, for a boot cut. 360 degrees worth of rotation there. At the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as his accessories go, of course, there's a port on his back, and there's a post on the quiver. You just put it right in place, straighten that strap back up. His bow, it does go right in his hand, but of course, because I'm filming, it's making itself an issue. So there's that. And then as far as this arrow goes, he can hold it in his hand if necessary. And there you go, my friends. that is a look at Yondu and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have Yondu with a couple of other cosmic dudes, not necessarily in the same time period, but cosmic nevertheless. Firelord there in the back, and the Richard Rider Nova next to him. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Marvel Legends series Yondu with our final Marvel Legends comparison, making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from the G.I. Joe Classified series. We have the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Target exclusive Marvel Legends series Guardians of the Galaxy Yondu, the comic book version, I have to say, this figure really evokes that, I think, one issue of this version of Guardians of the Galaxy that I read, where it was the 31st century or whatever, and Silver Surfer was, I don't remember. He was wearing a robe, though. I do remember that. But this version of the team never really stuck for me. In fact, when they first announced that they were doing a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I was like, ugh. However, in hindsight, it was a good move, and they did a really good job with that film series. Of course, I haven't seen the third one as of this recording, but I do intend to. But the fin on the head is hard plastic, which I'm glad to see that it's not real flexible and bendy, and then it's going to warp. I mean, even this hard plastic and heat and stuff, it's going to warp. But, you know, just being stored or in the display or whatever, it's not going to warp. That I can tell. Now, the head, where the fin connects into, it might warp. I'm not sure. The bow, I'm sure, is reused from a Hawkeye somewhere, and they just added the string to it. Or I could be wrong. And the arrow, I want to say, is from an MCU Hawkeye, as well as the quiver. But there are some new pieces on here, too. And I think this is on the Bucky Cap mold. But overall, I have to say, it's an okay figure. If you're a big fan of this version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, then, you know, by all means, this should probably be a pickup for you. I do like he has a vast range of motion in the shoulder, especially with the butterflies. That works great for arrow shooting characters. And there's a little nudge for the Dungeons and Dragons team, who need to improve articulation on arrow shooting characters or bow wielding characters. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.